Hi, it's me, Rasheed, the coach, and welcome to the December 2017 issue of Catch the Coach, and it's our last issue of the year. And it's a really interesting time of the year because, of course, autumn has just given way to winter. It's the beginning of winter, and so this issue is all about winter. It's about well wishes. It is the festival season, the holiday season, Christmas, religious festivals. It means it's a family time. It means so many different things to different people. It's also, of course, that start of winter. And of course, historically, winter would be the toughest season, a barren season, it's a cold season, and so it's all about how does one survive. But it's also a time in the year where we are gently reflecting. So these are the themes that we're looking at this issue. First of all, very, very quickly, news. I'm really pleased to announce that my dates for Networking for Success, my monthly event for 2018, and my quarterly events for Soul Trader, Your Life, Your Business, have been launched, and I'm going to have a link below here so that you can book onto those events. I'm really delighted that another year we're going to be running those events to help you in your life, in your career, and in your business. I think the first thing I really want to talk about then is this thing around winter and survival. You know, it's a tough time of the year. It's a time that for many people they feel isolated and so on. So it's a time also of being really, really grateful for being here. And the things that I want to invite you to think about is what in life is already in place. What is it that you're really grateful? Maybe there's a roof over your head. Maybe you've got friends and loved ones who are close. Maybe there's some other things that you've put in place. And I want you to think about what are the other things that are your priorities, are the things that you need to put in place. Maybe it's a time where you're thinking, okay, I need to put this in place, I need to put some financial planning in place, I need to put this in place. Just yesterday I was with some colleagues who said, actually now it's a time where I need to turn my attention to the financial side of my career, of my business. So what are the things it is that you need to put in place? What are those areas that really require attention so that you can be mindful moving ahead? Because again, that's what we would have been doing traditionally. If you look at the animals and so on that be hibernating, they've got the nuts and the thingies and all those bits and pieces that are going to see them through the winter. What are things that you need to address to see yourself through the winter? Maybe it's some things that you're doing physically in terms of the house. Maybe there's some insulation that you're doing. Maybe there's some other bits and pieces that you're doing to consolidate. What are the things that it is that you need to address in order to survive the season? It might well be just taking time for your health and your well-being, taking a little bit of time out. What are the things that you need to be mindful of for your own progress and survival, personally, emotionally and spiritually? So that's our first thing. Let's get on to, that leads us nicely into our review of the year. I'm going to invite you to take a pen and paper or to take your tablet or however it is that you want to do that. And then let's just gently do a review of the year. Sometimes at this time of the year we get so caught up in the rush toward Christmas, festive times, family times, gifts and so on that we overlook that. So first of all, what's gone well this year? What are you really pleased about? What have the highlights been? Write that down. What have the challenges been? What have been the difficult things? Write that down. What have your learnings been? Mindful of the highlights and challenges, the things that have gone well and things that have been difficult. What's the learning for this year been? And what are the things you need to focus on moving ahead into 2018? So based on all that learning, perhaps think about 2 or 3 things that need to be focused on. And we'll pick up on that in our first issue of the new year. Next up, my tip of the month is all about time and energy. We often think about managing our time, but energy is really, really, really important. Many people at this time of the year fall ill. The body knows that it can begin to slow down, that there aren't that many weeks before the holiday season. So my tip for this month is, first of all, what's the time that you need, first of all, for you, for yourself, your health and your well-being? For example, just after recording this, I'm going to go and play some squash. And for me, it all begins with having the right amount of sleep I need. What's the time that you need for friends and loved ones? Put that time in. And what's the time you need for things that you love to do? And it's beautiful to focus on that now. And my tip is to focus on that over this festive season so that you have that time for you to recoup, to recover, to recharge. You have that time for loved ones, and you also have time for those things that you enjoy doing. And I think it's really important. Now is a beautiful time to do that. Next up, let's talk a little bit about happy holidays, actually. Happy holidays and glad tidings. And I mean, this is the festive season, it's the family season, it is a time that means a lot to people personally and spiritually. And it is a time of really glad tidings. My first tip, in order to ensure that it is a time of glad tidings, in terms of this season, some simple tips. Set a budget that you can afford and stick to it. There's no point that a season that's supposed to be merry and jolly turns into be one where you're low and you have lots of woes and worries. So set a budget that you can afford and stick to it. Know your limits when it comes to food and drink. There's no point paying the price several months into 2018 for a week of excess in 2017. So be mindful about that. Avoid arguments, avoid family feuds, avoid the office politics and those kind of risky party antics that you're going to regret. Just avoid all of that stuff. And then just have fun. Know what works for you. I'm not saying here not to have fun. It's really important to let your hair down and to have fun. But just be very, very mindful. And that brings us on to our last tip. Take care, and when you're out and about, and just stay alert and enjoy yourself. So those are my tips. We're heading toward the end of this particular issue, but I just want to say, take this moment to say a huge thanks to everyone who's been along to my events this year. I want to say a huge thanks to everybody who supported Soul Trader and the number of people who arrive at my events and speak to me and say that they've got the book or and other stuff. It's really touching. Thank you for all of those of you who've been in touch via social media. I know lots of you follow things on the Facebook page, on the Instagram page. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the clients. Thank you for all the corporate organisations that I've worked with. That's my prompt that I've got to go and play squash. And I'm just very, very grateful. Wishing you a wonderful festive season, whatever it is you're doing. Have a wonderful, wonderful time. Best wishes from me, Rasheed. Take good care. Bye-bye.